Let's talk a little bit about the pharmacology of TXA. Its government name is tranexamic acid, but you and I are just going to call it TXA. First of all, we need to understand how the body forms a clot. So when the body starts bleeding, the vasculature says, oh no, let's form a clot about it. And the scaffolding that it uses to form a clot is something called fibrin. So I want you to think of fibrin as the scaffolding which forms the framework for our body to be able to form a clot so that it can stop bleeding. However, as soon as our body starts forming a clot, it knows that the clot can't stay there forever, so it wants to start breaking it down. And how the body breaks down a clot is it has plasmin that comes in here and cuts the pieces of scaffolding. But plasmin doesn't just happen on its own. It's actually converted from an inactive form of an enzyme called plasminogen. So this plasminogen cannot break down the clot on its own. It has to be converted to the active form, which is plasmin. And that's where TXA comes in. TXA has to be given within 3 hours of whatever caused the bleeding, 3 hours of the injury. I almost said energy. What's wrong with my brain this morning? And what TXA does is it binds to this and it says, do not convert into the active form right here. Now, it's important with TXA. Why can we only give it within 3 hours of the injury? Well, the CRASH 2 study, which is kind of old, it was back in 2010, showed us that if we give TXA within 1 hour of the why do I keep saying injury, it reduces mortality associated with bleeding by 30%. If we give it between 1 and 3 hours, there's still a benefit, but not as much as 30%. And anything after 3 hours actually increases mortality. Now, here's a cool thing that I like to think about when I'm thinking about the pharmacology of TXA. It's actually the opposite of tPA, tissue plasminogen activator, which is what we used to give to our patients with an occlusive stroke as a thrombolytic to break it up. Now we give TNCase, but it helps us to understand the difference between TXA and tPA because they're opposites of each other. TXA tells this plasminogen, do not convert to plasmin, which is the active form, whereas tPA, when we give it, it comes in and tells all of the needle nose pliers to transform into all of the scissors. And now we have a whole bunch of scissors breaking down the clot at the same time, which gives it that thrombolytic properties. So there you have it, a little bit of the pharmacology of TXA.